Hello guys, I hope you're all doing great. So I took that much needed break, and just before I went for the break I shared with you a video on some of my low moments. I got a bit of backlash from that video. There are people who feel that I complain, yet I'm in a better position than many. I am truly grateful for that. So that's not really the case. It's only that you become part of my family, and I can't always pretend that things are perfect. Every one of us has those low and high moments, and I felt I should at least give you both sides of my life. I sincerely apologize to anyone that found the video offensive. I'm not being ungrateful. I'm always very grateful for everything that I have. Anyway, this is what has been up in the last 10 days that I've been away. Lexi came home for the midterm break, and when she's around, I really enjoy making all the things that she's missed. She's in boarding school and she didn't get to enjoy some of the foods. So I take every opportunity to make her all those things that she wants. And she doesn't have the privilege of enjoying sausages while in school. So when she comes home, at least I make sure she enjoys them, because I don't like buying them myself. I love sausages, yes, but as I'm trying to really stay healthy and eat healthy, I really avoid buying sausages when Lexi is not around. I also try to have a variety of foods for her to choose from, which is not the norm here. When Lex is not home, the only adult in this house, and we don't even get to the dining table to eat. We mostly serve from the kitchen, and you'll find somebody just seated somewhere with their food. So it's always really special when she's around. We do the serving on the dining table and we get to sit together. So while she's around, we're going to have very elaborate breakfast time. I've even cut up some watermelon for breakfast, which I don't usually do. I also cooked bananas. I really love the cooked bananas for breakfast. I was on a break and I was not supposed to involve myself in any active activities, but I still made time to go to my home and just check on my driveway project, which is currently on. We are finishing it up before we plant the flowers. Unfortunately, the rains are gone and it's quite dry. I'm just wondering if it's really the right time to have the flowers planted, because I know I won't be able to water them. Our well is also running dry. I'm planning to retain this natural color of concrete on the driveway. I don't have plans of painting it any color. Let me know what you think about that. I don't know if painting it would make it look better, but I don't think so. Since we are going to have the flowers hanging loose on the sides, so I think it's just going to cover it all up, and then the cabro will also cover a big section of the wall. So what will be exposed is just so small. It's more of a tiny paver, so I don't think there's need to paint it. But your opinion is still very important on this, so don't be shy to let me know what you think. So the mason is currently working on the other side, and the first side I think is dry, so I will proceed and just put in the soil as I wait for the rains. You can tell how dry it is. The soil is already dusty, and just the other week it was quite wet. I've also got bags of compost which I'll be mixing with the soil as we wait for the rains to fall. I'm also still torn between planting flowers or just having laurels, which can be neatly trimmed and also be very nice in the driveway. Since I plan to paint the house white, I am just not sure of what to plant here. I'm still going through Pinterest for various ideas on the right plants to have here. You can also help me with that. But of course, there are very many amazing ideas out there. I think I'm just spoiled for choice. Once again, I forgot I was on a break and was not supposed to do any heavy work. I just found myself grabbing the spade and spreading the soil out. I think I'm just a workaholic. I was supposed to take my vacation during this period. Unfortunately, there's been so much going on in Kenya, the demonstrations, and it's not been safe to travel around. But once things cool down, I plan to take a week or two to just go out there and relax. I'm always very excited about my garden, and I cannot come here without doing something in my garden. And the most exciting part of this garden for me is the banana trees. These are the first crops I planted here, and they've been giving very good results. So I'm just always excited to see new fruits, and they look really, really healthy. And this is just a motivation for me to keep growing more food, keep trying new crops, and honestly, I'm really, really excited. I should be harvesting these ones in the coming week. And I also learned a new way to do gardening without digging. It's called the no-dig garden. So I've been using all the grass that we cut from the compound to mulch the grass. I just cover the ground with it, and after a week or two, you find all the grass in that area has disappeared, and then it's so easy to plant. So I've adapted that, and that's what I've been doing around the garden, having the grass on different patches and planting my vegetables. The peppers are doing quite great, and they are almost the size of my fingers. I think this we are harvesting pretty soon. The mulch is really helping, especially in this dry season. The soil is still moist. The swamps get really, really dry, and it even cracks in the dry season. But this time round with the mulch, I see all my crops looking quite green and healthy. Our watermelons are already flowering, and I know next week we shall just have a little ball somewhere here. And these are those really high moments for me, especially now that it's my first time growing watermelons. I hope this is going to be a success. So this is one of those patches where I got rid of the grass just by covering it with a heavy mulch. I want to plant some new vegetables today, and I'm just leveling out the soil and breaking the bigger particles so that it's fine and good for planting. Swamp grass is very stubborn, and I'm just so excited about this new method of killing them. And the best thing about this is even the roots die, so we don't expect new growth of the swamp weed. So I plan to have many patches here with different vegetables. In the meantime, I'm still on that trial stage where I'm experimenting with different crops, vegetables, and fruits. Eventually, we're going to have the raised beds. I want to keep my new garden very organic. I'm trying to store organic seeds, and I also bought these organic spring onions from our local markets, which I'm going to plant today. I also bought organic collard greens. They look withered a bit. I bought them yesterday and they were out overnight. That's why they look this way. But once we plant them, they'll pick up in just about a week. In my country, seeds are not labeled, so it's very difficult to know if you're buying an organic or a genetically modified seed. So the best way to ensure we have a continuous supply of organic seeds is just by propagating the store-bought vegetables like I'm doing. And these seeds go generations without interfering with the yield. So we carry them on from generation to generation. At the moment, there are new seeds coming and you just don't know what you're buying. So I'm really trying to be very mean with my seeds, and I'm storing them so that I don't run out of seeds that I already have. So when I'm done organizing the raised beds, all I'll do is move what I've planted here to the other bed. So as we harvest, we make sure we don't harvest everything. We keep some of it for the next season. My advice to any Kenyan watching me and who's practicing organic farming or gardening: be mean with your seeds. Save your seeds because our market is currently infiltrated with seeds we don't know much about. As I told you earlier, my garden is an experimental garden, and so far I would say the experiments are all successful. Everything I've planted is doing well. If not doing well, nothing has died. They are surviving. So I'm still on the experiment and I'll be updating you on each and every step. I'm just trying to encourage everyone who has swampland that it is possible. So during the 10 days, our midterm break also ended and I had to drop Lexi back at school. This is going to be her last time in boarding school because we are taking a transfer, and she'll be joining a new school in September. And she's so excited about it. Sending her to boarding school was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life. It was so difficult for me parting ways with my little girl, but I had no choice since there were no good schools in the village. And the big news is I finally bought gloves. Many of you have asked me to use gloves on several occasions. It's just not my thing, and I can't even promise I'll be using it when gardening. Maybe when cleaning. Anyway, guys, we are out here in the farm. We are harvesting potatoes today, but that's not the reason I made this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one pretty soon. Bye bye for now. I'll see you in the next.